All right, ladies and gentlemen, he is P.J. Kamenchik, who happens to be the news director of the Pioneer Broadcasting Station of America and one-time hockey coach. He is my go-to guy when it comes to dropping the puck, and that's what they'll do at the Consol Energy Center tonight at 8. Doc Emmerich on the call on the NBC Sports Network, Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final between the Pens and the defending Eastern Conference champs from last year, who beat the Rangers. It is none other than the Tampa Bay Lightning, who happens to be the favorite in this matchup. Now, Strelman, their big defensive star, out with that broken fibula since March. He's missed their first two series against Detroit and the Islanders, who they knocked out in 10 games, and he has been ruled out for Game 1 tonight. So what's that mean, PJ?
Well, they still have Victor Hedman in there. I mean, the guy's a 6'7" defenseman who can skate, who can shoot the puck, not unlike Chris Letang. A little bit bigger, a little bit more size. This is going to be a great series. Both teams are going to skate up and down. You're going to see a lot of north-south hockey, not a lot of east and west things. And it should be a very, very interesting series. These teams are identical. Tampa Bay has a lot of no-names on that squad. The Penguins, aside from Malkin and Crosby, I mean, there's a lot of grinders that are out there that are getting the job done. So I look for a very, very interesting series.
What has Kessel meant? He was supposed to be either a boom or a bust, and he turned out to be a boom when he came from Toronto, especially when Evgeny Malkin went down with the upper body injury. His last performance in that Game 6 clinching game against Washington, 2 goals, he's been spectacular.
Oh, Rob, he's had no pressure on him here in Pittsburgh. If you take a look at it, when they got him, he's up in Toronto. Mm-hmm. The pressure is on Phil Kessel. He's an American. They're asking him all the questions. He's not scoring. They're losing. So he's a bad player, they say. He's bad in the locker room. Maybe Phil Kessel's just shy. He wants to play hockey, and he's proving it here in Pittsburgh. They've got the speed. Early on they had him with Crosby. They put him with other players, and we see now that he's a guy that needs the puck on his stick because he makes things happen. He can shoot the puck. He can pass the puck. Very skilled hockey player. A great move by Jim Rutherford in giving up Kapanen to get him in the fold for the Penguins.
Yeah, give Jim Rutherford a whole lot of love. He's really done a remarkable job this year with the Pens. And Matt Murray, he's been spectacular too. Here's what his coach Mike Sullivan has had to say.
Responds the right way to those sorts of adversities, and I think, that speaks to his maturity. I think it speaks to his character, that he has the ability to respond the right way to those types of circumstances.
Talking about how this young netminder has kept the puck out in front of him at close range. And Jean-Sébastien Aubin, a pretty fair goalie in his own right for a number of years, played with the Kings, Toronto, the Pens. He loves this kid. He says he could be one of the best of all time. And he's a long, tall drink of water, 6'3", 178-pounder, but he is lightning quick. Been incredible. PJ.
Well, he's so square to the puck, Matt Murray. Something that Marc-Andre Fleury, who's so athletic, may tend to go side to side a little bit too much. Murray's so square to the puck, but what a great situation for the Penguins to be in. You got a Hall of Fame goaltender, Marc-Andre Fleury, who arguably was their best player this year. On the bench right now, Matt Murray, you got to ride the hot goaltender. I mean, you've been in sports, Rob. I've been in sports. You got to ride that hot goaltender. If you're going to play Fleury, boy, it could be in Game 1 to give him the start. Because if he does fumble a little bit, you've got Matt Murray to come off the bench to relieve him. So a great situation for the Penguins. And I think if deep down inside, if you ask Marc-Andre Fleury that question, he'd tell you stick with the hot goaltender.
All right, don't forget to be listening to 93.7 The Fan. They'll have all sorts of great Penguin stuff. And, of course, Jeff Hathorn anchoring this afternoon on the KDK Afternoon with Mangino and Duffy, and every 20 minutes on 93.7 The Fan. A couple more things for P.J. Kamenchik, talking about the Pens Game 1 Eastern Conference Final tonight, Consol Energy Center, 8 o'clock. If you're not there or outside watching it on the big screen, don't forget the NBC Sports Network has it. Eric Fair talking about the recent drought of Evgeny Malkin as far as shooting and scoring the puck.
You would assume that's the case with Gino. I mean, he's one of the best players in the world, and he wants the puck on his stick, and he controls the puck so well, and he sees the ice so well that it's a matter of time before he single-handedly takes over a game.
Yeah, that is the question. He and Sidney Crosby. Crosby's only had 11 shots on goal in the postseason. I was saying this to Jean-Sébastien Aubin at Shadow Lakes yesterday. PJ, sooner or later, these two top guns, they're going to break out.
Well, there's no question. If you take a look at the overtime game against the Washington Capitals, Sidney Crosby tried to put that team on his back. What he did in the third period and overtime, I mean, he got down to the corners. Did he score? No. But the work effort what he brought to the table in terms of grinding it out, that wears a defense down where they can bring your second, third, and fourth lines to come on and make it a little bit easier. In terms of Evgeny Malkin and Sidney Crosby, it was very interesting. Eddie Olczyk, who was on the Cook and Pony show on Thursday, talked about it. The question was asked to Eddie, can this team win this series without those two players performing? And Olczyk simply said, sure they can. They did it against the Capitals. It can happen again. Obviously, it makes it easier if they score, but they can win without those two guys scoring goals.
You being the former coach, some Hockey 101, I'm going to throw some things out and explain to the audience what it means. For the Pens to win, they have to expose Tampa's defense.
Well, they have to. I think the Penguins have to play the way they're playing. I think they got to play the north-south game. They can't go east and west. So what they have to do is they've got to dump the puck, go get it, bang on that defense. I mean, I always like to take a defenseman, who's the weakest defenseman, what defenseman's hurt, and go after him. And go after him and bang him all game. And so that time, you get to the third, fourth game, maybe he's looking. Maybe he's trying to pass that puck too quickly in the transition game. He's going to make a mistake. So they got to wear that defense down, but they still have to play the way they played against the Washington Capitals in overtime. And when they had the 3-0 lead, you can't sit back. Just keep taking the game to Tampa Bay. Should be a great series.
Last thing, keep closing. The Pens have to keep closing. Tell the audience what that means.
In terms of keep closing?
Yeah.
Well, I think that in terms of they got to close the game out. If you're referring to how they performed against the Washington Capitals when they were up 3-1, they kind of sat back in that game. Washington threw 20 shots at them in the third period. The Penguins hung on for dear life in that series. They said they would never do it again. They didn't do it in Game 6 against the Capitals. They got to close it out, and in terms of closing it out, you got to play from start to finish, and you got to skate hard.
There you go, PJ Kamenchik, a little Hockey 101 with your Pratte Pack. Thanks, man.